Hi everyone, my name is Nate Ren. I'm the co-founder and chief operating officer for the project Cypherium. Cypherium is a protocol level blockchain that seems to be the next Ethereum but better in all the ways because we are a scalable solution for high-speed dApps. Before that, I want to talk about some of the problems we're facing today as blockchain. So the fundamental problem the blockchain faces nowadays is the governance or the lack of it. What I mean by it is that we lack a mechanism for the community to decide the future of the blockchain, where we're going. For example, the debate of scalability of Bitcoin and hence the subsequent fork of BTC and BCC and the forking of Ethereum after DAO attack are all caused by the lack of governance. A decentralized system is not a disorganized system. It's not just about removing the central entities. It's about bringing order into this complexity. So what is governance? Governance can consist of many things. For example, distributed architecture, consensus protocol, cryptographic algorithm, data sharing, source code management. That is who has the right to determine the direction and the future of the blockchain. So a little bit about the evolution of the blockchain. So the blockchain start with advent of Bitcoin, which is an extremely successful experiment, but because of the scalability issues, as you guys might know, Bitcoin can only handle 7 transactions per second. That makes it not suitable for industrial applications. Ethereum afterward introduced smart contract, which brings up a whole lot more opportunity for different exciting things. But scalability remains a problem because Ethereum only processes around 13 transactions per second before migrating to Casper. So now I want to introduce Cypherium. Cypherium is a highly scalable blockchain using hybrid consensus that consists of proof of work and practical Byzantine fault tolerance. It has a distributed version control that makes sure it upgrades itself according to the governance model. A little bit about the hybrid consensus we use. So in the normal Bitcoin scenario, what happens is that when you mine a block, you have a leader that has the strongest hashing power. So it computes the hash, it mines the block, and it records the transaction in that block. And after that block, it has to re-mine again to determine a new block, a new leader for every block. And because of this mechanism, it requires a lot of confirmation. And that, hence, the transaction throughput is slow because you need to wait for a long time before you can make sure a transaction is legit. So what we do in the hybrid consensus is that instead of having one, we're having multiple committees. And they're forming a committee in terms of their hashing power. So let's say there's one round of mining. We choose like the 10 most powerful nodes in terms of computation power and form a committee of them. And once that committee is formed, they vote on transactions instantly without having to mine it again. By doing this, it greatly increased the throughput of transactions. But that committee is not going to be permanent because we do not want to create any sort of decentralization. So what happens is after every 10 minutes or so, we will dynamically re-elect all the leaders through another round of mining. And by another round of mining, so the new groups of committee consist of entirely different committees from before, and they do the same thing voting on transactions all over again. So by doing that, we can remain high scalability but truly decentralized through proof of work. This is just another illustration of how this thing works. As you can see in the committee, the one with the crown is the leader, and the leader will broadcast messages to the members and they vote on transaction without having to mine. But every now and then, there needs to be a round of mining to re-elect all those committees. Okay, so the way consensus works is that the leader first multicasts the message to the rest of the nodes and having them receive the message. If 2/3 of quorum is reached, then the block is accepted into the blockchain. If there's a member, like for example, this one on the bottom, does not respond due to timeout or being hijacked by hackers, this is not going to be affected because we're using the practical Byzantine fault tolerance system that allows nodes to go arbitrarily bad. Once the message is received by the rest of the member, that message is broadcast to the rest of the node that's outside the committee, and through that process, the propagation through the entire network. Also, they will reject messages from dishonest nodes. For example, if a hacker wants to overwhelm the network by producing a botnet hence a Sybil attack, sending fake messages. These are not going to work because they did not provide proof of work. They're not part of the committee, so their message was going to be automatically rejected, hence proving the security. A little bit about distributed version control. So the way we do is that we upgrade the entire network to some sort of distributed version control similar to BitTorrent. It's a P2P network. But unlike Bitcoin, you're sending transactions, you're sending Bitcoins. In this case, we're actually sending the data of the software through all nodes. So by doing this, all nodes can get upgraded through the entire network without a central server. And this is also part of the governance model in how to upgrade our protocols. Multi-level governance and protocol, customizable protocol. So on the bottom layers, as you can see, it is a truly decentralized protocol, but that is a protocol layer, and we also have application layer that builds on top of it, which allows different degrees of customization if you want different kinds of application that might require certain centralized features. For example, central bank. By saying central bank ready, I mean that we can actually provide infrastructures for central banks to issue tokens if they need to have some sort of functionality to track where the coins is going or some sort of centralization. We could do that because we have 2 layers or multi-layers. Each layer have their own governance system. Just a bit more other features, dual sandboxes. So a sandbox is basically a virtual machine. Unlike Ethereum having 1 virtual machine, we are actually having 2 virtual machines, one for testing and one for deployment. So what happens is when a developer writes some code, writes a smart contract, they can try to execute everything in the testing environment and having a hacker fiddle with it. If there is anything goes wrong, the rest of the entire system is not affected. Once you get everything done, you can migrate it to the deployment sandboxes. So by doing this thing, it improves security. Schnorr signature, also known as ED25519, is basically an elliptical cryptographic signing algorithm. This is better than the traditional ECC algorithm because it's faster and smaller in size and as secure as the rest, and it is suitable in running on mobile devices. Some of the experts see that this is definitely not a crazy idea. We actually had a press writing about the protocol. Our protocol is based on Bitcoin, NG, and Bitcoin. Some of the core team. So here we have Stuart, the co-founder here. All of the members have computer science or mathematical degrees in PhD or bachelor's, and we all have. Most of the members had working experience in established brand companies such as Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Tencent, Ubisoft. So we are overall a very strong team and very diverse. Our team is consisted of members of United States, China, and Europe. And the team are very experienced in all kinds of subjects in relating to the blockchain. Just a little bit about the pre-sale. So our pre-sale is a private placement going on, selling 3 million ciphers, and the price is 1.5 USD per cipher. And the cost of that is because in order to maintain the security, because this is a proof of work coin, the coin actually has to be mined. So there is an electricity cost involved with it. And also, if you notice, among the top 10 cryptocurrency in terms of market cap, they are dominated by the one that's proof of work. For example, all the 7s out there, they're proof of work, and they take up the top 7 of the top 10 cryptocurrency in terms of market cap. And this is the issuing mechanism. The first year, 100 million tokens is going to be issued in total. 35 million is going to be reserved by the team, and the rest will be distributed in ICO and pre-sale, and the rest will be mined throughout the years. This is a little roadmap. We're actually invited to Congressional Blockchain Educational Day, and we are currently having a pre-sale and in the process of setting up a governmental body in Switzerland. So after our ICO launch, we're going to have our mainnet, our testnet and mainnet ready, and after that, our token is also going to be on different exchanges for trading. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed.